Hi, Jim Stime here with Aquarium Design. You also know me as the LA Fish Guy. Happen to be standing in front of a 500-gallon freshwater tank that I service here in Malibu, California. You might be able to notice the water looks a little bit yellow. Typically, yellow is the result of dyes from fish food and the waste from the fish themselves. And out of the three types of filtration, mechanical, chemical, and biological, chemical filtration, which typically is the use of activated carbon, helps remove colors and odors. We're here today with the Blue Life USA Clear FX Pro activated carbon resin media, and we're going to apply this into the system. As I mentioned, this is an activated carbon. It also has resin scavenger beads in there, and what this does is help remove colors and odors from the water. So we're going to go ahead and show you how I'm going to apply this, or where I'm going to place it into the system. We'll then come back on the next service and we'll review how good a job it's done.
Carbon, specifically activated carbon, is charcoal that's been ground up along with other charred forms of coconut shell, bone, and other types of ash and made into a slurry. This slurry is then baked at high temperatures. As it cools down, various gases escape from the slurry, leaving behind a porous media that is then crushed into various size granules. These porous granules have the ability to attract or draw into themselves organic compounds. This is called adsorption, spelt with a D. Resin beads that have been chemically treated also have the ability to attract to themselves some oppositely charged particles. Both activated carbon and resin beads act as an organic chemical magnet. These properties give both carbon and resin beads the ability to attract and trap into themselves oppositely charged particles, such as the compounds that cause water to become yellow. It's this chemical magnet property that gives activated carbon the ability to remove the yellow or odors out of the water. Our challenge today is to place the bag of carbon and resin beads in a location that maximizes its exposure to the aquarium's water.
So the filter system on this 500-gallon tank consists of a biological filter, or kind of a pseudo wet-dry trickle filter slash sump here in the center. And then it's got a pool-style canister filter that holds a pleated cartridge at that end and also at this end. So there's essentially three modes of circulation within the tank, two of which are through the canister filters, the other two via the overflow in the tank down to the wet-dry trickle filter slash sump and then back to the tank. We want to place the activated carbon, or in this case the Clear FX Pro, in as effective a location as possible. What's considered effective? Well, that's a place where you maximize the water passing through the filter media. Inside the canister filters would probably be a great place. They're driven by a walkie, external magnetically driven pumps, and it's a contained environment in that canister that the water has to pass through the filter media. It can't go around it. Whereas in the wet-dry trickle filter, the option would be lying it ahead of the water pump. Sometimes there's a set of dividers in there called weirs that you can place the filter media or the filter bag inside of. The problem with the canister filters is they have a central core to them, which, because of the lack of height in this cabinet, I can't see into the top of the canister filter. In fact, I'm usually lying on my back to get in there to change the pleated cartridge. So there is a central canister, or a central screen chamber in the center there, and quite possibly it has a cap that will come off, and I might be able to figure out how to take the cap off and stick that bag of media inside there. But again, I can't see in there, and I'm not familiar enough with the canister filter to know if that's a good or a bad place, because potentially I could be blocking the flow with whatever media I put inside there. And so that kind of rules out the canister filters. That leaves the wet-dry trickle or sump location to place that bag of carbon. There are 2 submersible pumps in here, quiet ones I believe, that draw water from the sump and pump back to the tank. What I can do is take that filter media, in this case the Clear FX Pro, and place that bag between the 2 water pumps, so that in that case at least the water's coming to a point where it's being sucked out by those water pumps. Now, the Clear FX Pro comes in its own bag, and the filter media is already inside the bag, and the filter media has already been rinsed. So if you take a look inside that container that the product came in, there's no carbon dust inside there. Many other brands of carbon, you have to rinse and rinse and rinse to get all that carbon dust out of it. Again, they've kind of pre-rinsed this filter media. In fact, I can feel the bag is just a little bit on the moist side. So what we're going to do is take that bag and we're going to place it here inside the sump, again between those 2 water pumps, thus trying to maximize the exposure of the water passing through the wet-dry trickle filter just prior to it getting drawn up by the water pumps, so that it's exposed to the filter media.
Sadly, due to an inadequately designed filter sump and the oversized cabinetry, it's difficult to access the filter sump, and there's no designated spot to place the bag of carbon. So I'm going to place the bag in front of the water pump's intake, but I need to be careful and not allow the water pump to suck up the bag of filter media, or decrease the water pump's flow, or impede the aquarium heater's ability to expose itself to the aquarium water, or cook the filter media in the bag.
Hello, my name's Jim Stime and I operate Aquarium Design, and I offer aquarium sales, installation, supplies, livestock, and aquarium maintenance in Thousand Oaks, Westlake Village, Agora Hills, Calabasas, and Malibu, California.
I specialize in custom aquariums ranging from freshwater, saltwater fish, living coral reef, and jellyfish display systems. I've been involved professionally and at many levels within the aquarium industry since 1987, and have been in business for myself since 1999. I've worked for many people, and some for over 20 years now. My team can provide you with a unique range of aquarium systems ranging from rectangular in-wall to freestanding cylinders, bow fronts, and custom curved shapes. Additionally, we can offer a variety of aquascapes such as an artificial coral insert, coral skeleton decorations, custom-made branching rock structures, and themed environments such as this Jules Verne version of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. With today's technology in energy-efficient DC water pumps and LED lighting, operating costs are much lower. We can automate many of the maintenance features such as water replenishment, water changes, lighting schedule, including moonlight lighting, and even your general daily feedings. I can even install an app on your smartphone that will allow you to monitor, to be notified, to control, and view your aquarium anywhere in the world. If you're looking for something truly unique, give me a call and let's discuss the possibilities of creating your aquatic dream. I'm knowledgeable, insured, and very reliable. My name is Jim Stime, and you can reach me at 805-241-7140. I look forward to helping you achieve your aquatic dream. Reef Hobbyist magazine believes that our hobby, our fellow hobbyists, and the animals in our care are best served by the free distribution of quality information. Reef Hobbyist magazine provides hobbyists with critical husbandry information with an emphasis on marine ornamental breeding efforts. Reef Hobbyist magazine is available for free in local fish stores across the country, or you can subscribe at www.reefhobbyistmagazine.com. GHL is widely recognized for the most reliable and future-proof aquarium controllers, dosers, and aquarium LED lighting on the market. Designed and manufactured in Germany, All GHL products are built with the highest quality and standards. The GHL Profilux 4 raises the bar to a whole new level. Featuring built-in Wi-Fi, the Profilux 4 can be connected to your network wirelessly and be monitored and controlled from anywhere. With integrated ports for temperature, pH, ORP, conductivity, you can monitor virtually anything. Built-in expansion ports and optional flow sensors allow the Profilux 4 to scale to meet the needs of even the most advanced aquarium installations without the need for additional add-on modules. The new GHL Doser 2.1 takes dosing to the extreme with integrated Wi-Fi for wireless management. It includes inputs for level sensors, a temperature probe, and an output for a magnetic stirrer, making it an ideal solution for everything from dosing, automatic top-off, automated water changes, and even automated feeding. The GHL Mitras are the most powerful and flexible LEDs in their class. The 7206's built-in wireless control makes for fast and easy setup, while the GHL Light Composer allows users to easily set up their spectrum and lighting schedule. 6 individual LED clusters provide the industry's best blending of LED channels while also providing the best spread. 9 channels of control allow you to tailor your lighting scheme to meet the needs of even the most difficult to keep corals while also bringing out colors in corals and fish that would otherwise remain unseen. All GHL products can be controlled via the GHL Control Center application as well as the My GHL Cloud interface, allowing for monitoring, control, and management from anywhere via an internet connection. The unique interface eliminates the need for coding while providing advanced programming functionality unrivaled by the competition. If you're looking for the best controllers, dosers, and lighting on the market, then GHL has a product to fit your needs. For more information, visit aquariumcomputer.com.
So let's just take a moment and review the methods of filtration and what the type of filtration we're going to apply is. First of all, there are 3 types of aquarium filtration: mechanical, chemical, and biological. Mechanical is simply a scrid, or a mesh that as water passes through it, certain size particles become trapped out. The analogy that I like to use all the time is it's a hot day. There's a bit of a breeze. You've got the fellas or the girls over. You're watching soap operas or the football game, and you open the front door and open the back door and you allow a breeze to come through, but you make sure that the screen doors are pulled shut so that the air can come through, but the bugs and the flies don't. That's a version of mechanical filtration. A filter pad, a sponge, a grid of some type of a media, a screen that, again, as the water were to pass through, particles become trapped out. Depending upon how fine or dense that media is, determines not only the size of how what size particle gets trapped out, but how frequently you need to clean it. Biological filtration, which is the 3rd type, is the use of bacteria that have the ability to break down, oxidize, or convert animals' waste from one form to a lesser toxic form. In the case of aquarium filtration, there's typically 2 types of bacteria, Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. One converts waste into ammonia, another converts ammonia into nitrite, and then another converts nitrite into nitrate. Those types of filtration occur usually in different places, not only to maximize the efficiency, but to minimize the interference of one and the other. For example, if you allow a sponge to become biologically active, and its job ultimately was to trap particles, when you take that sponge out to clean it, you're disrupting the biological aspects of it. The 2nd type of filtration, again, is referred to as chemical filtration. The most common form of chemical filtration is the use of activated carbon. Activated carbon specifically, as opposed to carbon. Activated carbon was charcoal, and that charcoal is ground up into a powder and mixed with other components such as ash or something like that, and they create a slurry. And what they do is they take the slurry and they bake it at high temperatures, and as the gas bubbles escape out of that slurry, it creates caverns and passages and such what I refer to as porosity, or a very cavernous medium. That is now considered activated carbon. Again, it was charcoal, which is a very hard, smooth granule that has flat surfaces and very little surface area. It's ground up into charcoal, which in turn is mixed with other components, baked, and as those gas bubbles escape, again, it creates a porous granule. That granule now has the ability to adsorb. That's A-D-S-O-R-B, not absorb, A-B-S-O-R-B. Absorb means like a sponge, it draws into itself. Adsorb essentially has the ability to attract oppositely charged particles along the lines of positives and negatives. So in this case, activated carbon draws into itself through a positive and negative attraction various organic compounds, those that would cause the things for colors and odors. Another type of chemical filter media would be the use of zeolites, such as what I refer to as Johnny Cat. It's a clay, and there's many different types of clays. Some of them are used to remove nitrates, some of them you've seen in ammonia carbons and such like that that remove ammonia. In this case, the Clear FX Pro combines a combination of activated carbon and resin beads. And resin beads also have the ability to attract oppositely charged particles. A good example is a water softener. It has media in there, in this case salts, and what those salts do is they attract into themselves calcium ions and exchange it for sodium ions, and that's what makes hard water soft water. But at some point, those medias become exhausted because they essentially, the surface of them, or whatever their ability to adhere those various or oppositely charged particles to, becomes exhausted. So what we have here in the Clear FX Pro is a combination of activated carbon and ammonia removing, or in this case, phosphate removing medias, or what they call scavenger medias. They've mixed that together, put it inside a filter bag. Obviously, they've rinsed it, and in turn, you can put that in the system, and when it comes in contact with those organic compounds, it will attract those organics into themselves. So if by looking into the aquarium you can't really tell how yellow the water is, there is another very simple way. That is, draw some water out of the tank into a container, preferably a white container, and then take a look at the water. In the white container, the water should be clear. If it's not, and in this case were to be yellow, that's our indication that organics have built up, and there could be the use of activated carbon, or in this case the FX Pro, in the system to help remove those colors. So it doesn't look as bad in the bucket as it does in the tank, but you can see that the water does have a little bit of a tint to it. In this case, a yellow tint, which is common in fresh and saltwater applications because the food in the tank has a lot of dyes in it, and again, the animals have done their business in the water, and that's going to have an effect on the color or the clarity of the water. So again, you can run some of your aquarium water into a white bucket. The water should look clear. In this case, you can see this water has a bit of yellow in it. So that's why we're going to put activated carbon, or in today's case, the Clear FX Pro. And so that's how we're going to apply chemical filtration in this aquarium. In this particular case, the Clear FX Pro. We've taken that bag and we place it down there where we believe that there's a high flow of water, that as that water passes through it, that media will absorb the compounds that cause colors and odors. We'll return again for the next aquarium service, and we'll get a chance to better see how well the product worked, basically by determining how much of the yellow in the water has been removed. So we're back with the next aquarium service. It's been at least a couple weeks. You can see that the clarity of the water has improved significantly, and that's directly the result of the Clear FX Pro being put down into the filter system and its ability to remove the yellow out of the water.
The need for the addition of activated carbon is obvious based on the clarity, the tint, or the odor of the water. The length of time before the carbon becomes exhausted, requiring replacement, is defined by the quality of the product, the amount of foods containing dyes, the amount of food, along with the fish population. Using the yellowness of the water is a good indication of when it's time to use or replace it.